Please give a big round of applause all the way from Germany to Kassian!
I also come from a shithole. It's called Augsburg. Yeah, I started doing comedy 2 years ago, actually, in this place. So it's like a little weird because I haven't been here as much. And it's I like how somebody just went, mm-hmm. You were there, I remember. But it's funny you say that because back in the day there used to be just like chairs all the way up to the front. You guys remember, and it was always funny because people would always be eating in the front row. I think that's so brave to eat like a fucking burrito or something like on your lap. You're like assembling it. And, oh yeah, you're doing good. I've been doing a lot of German recently. So this is like the first time I've done English comedy in a while. And I like English comedy, right? Because in German, like I feel like everybody's trying to be cool. They're trying to be smart. And as you can see, we're not doing that. That's not what we're here doing. No, but I like that because we aren't smart. Comedians aren't smart. You shouldn't give your attention or like think comedians are intelligent, right? Like for example, me, I can memorize 2 phone numbers, right? One of them is my own. And the other one is 911. And we're in Germany, so that means nothing. You can call it, but they'll be like, wrong place, buddy. No, are you guys on a date? You too? You're not acting like it. Kinda. Do you feel? Did you not shower? You're like really putting some distance in there.
I'm trying to scrub myself clean on the bridge.
Scrub yourself clean on the wrist. Is it going good? Would you say it's good?
I don't know.
It's a nice guy. No, I'm asking her now. It's the first date. You don't get to speak for her yet. Is it going good? Oh, it's good. Yeah, nice. Well, maybe put your arm around her or something. Dating tips from a 23-year-old. Woo! Yeah, I've been, oh, yeah, clap for me, do it. Yeah, I'm helping you out, buddy. Yeah, you have to clap. I recently realized I might have something like OCD, something like that. Which is weird because people usually associate OCD with like, you know, being overly clean, very meticulous, very tidy. That's not me at all. Everything I do is shit. But I obsess in my head, right? I am obsessive about thoughts, right? I have intrusive thoughts. Do you guys ever have intrusive thoughts?
Yeah, no.
Oh wow, okay, that's a lot of people that need therapy. Oops. Also a lot of white people, that's funny. No, nobody that's not, okay. So for the people who don't know, intrusive thoughts are thoughts that you don't quite control, right? They'll pop into your head and they might be negative, they might be dark. A good example always is if you're like walking by a bridge and you're holding your phone, you might get the thought to throw your phone off, or if you're me, throw yourself off. And the thing about intrusive thoughts is, I learned this recently, is you're actually not supposed to like suppress them, right? You're supposed to think them all the way through so they go away, right? Otherwise, you know, if you try to suppress it, it comes back over and over. And so I thought maybe I write them down and I do them as comedy bits and I run them past you guys and then maybe they leave my head and I don't have to think about it anymore. So the first one I wanted to run by you guys was, I've been thinking about pedophiles a lot recently. That's cool, right? Like, nobody ever thinks about that. Isn't it crazy how pedophiles only find out they're pedophiles once they turn 18? You spend your whole life thinking it's okay to fuck children. And then suddenly you're allowed to drink alcohol and you're a criminal. Oops. Which is why I tell kids, have as much sex as possible. Like, you know, as much sex as you can. You never know. Like during the Afghan invasion, Americans, being Americans, fucked up, they would dip bullets into pig blood, right? And they would dip it into pig blood and shoot it at Muslims, and they'd be like, oh, you know, it takes them to hell, which it doesn't work that way. It's Americans. What did you expect? But I thought maybe to help out the Muslims, maybe if you guys want to, like, if you're shooting at Americans, maybe you just dip your bullets in free healthcare. Or like a trans person. They hate that shit. And on top of that, like I recently found out that like dildos used to be made out of wood. Talk about getting a splinter, am I right? But they used to be made of wood, now they're made of plastic. I thought that was really funny, right? Because plastic, you make that from fossil fuels, from oil. And I just think it's so cool that the fossil fuel industry found a way to fuck us, not just in the future, but right now. They're just ramming us in the present. Oh god. No, I get intrusive thoughts in the weirdest situations. I recently had one where I was talking to somebody. Does anybody do spin class? Spin class? Anybody? Okay, we're not that white. Interesting. So sorry, I wasn't even looking over here. And you're not white. Oops. You can do it at the gym. It's like a room that's filled with like 30 bikes, right? And there's one bike on the other side for the trainer. And like if you imagine you go outside and there's a bunch of windmills spinning, that would be green power. If you go into a gym and you see a bunch of people doing spin, that would be what we call white energy. Sorry, that joke is really hard to word because I'm trying to avoid saying white power every time. Every time it's like white power and I shit and then I stumble, sorry. And the people who do spin class are usually like really shitty about it. They're just like, spin class is way harder than riding a bicycle. It's just riding a bicycle. The funny thing is there's always a trainer, right? Normal biking doesn't have a trainer. There's always a trainer. It's always this like very generic NPC type woman, like somebody who's like a background actor. It's like this white woman called Hannah. And Hannah has this interesting style of training, right? She doesn't sound like a drill sergeant. She always yells, but she doesn't sound like a drill sergeant. She has like a mixture of porn actress and doula, somebody who helps during birth. So she'll be there like, go, 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 power, 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 push, push, push. It's okay to shit yourself on this part. I love that for Hannah. But I just think it's so funny, right? Because they're like, oh, it's so much harder, right? But like, I feel like spin class has taken all the cool parts of riding your bicycle away, right? Which is that you can go places, right? Like, I grew up in the countryside, and a little awkward, but like, the weirdest thing you can ever do in the countryside when you're like 15, 16 is break up and then have to bike home right after. So you'd be like on your bike, you got the leg down, you're like, sorry, babe. It's not you, it's me. Really awkward. That'd be even more awkward at a spin class, right? Because you're just right next to her, you're not going anywhere. Fuck! Back to intrusive thoughts. I heard this recently. I was talking to a trans person, and it was actually a funny thing they told me is that once trans women, they start taking estrogen, they find out they have a genetic cup size that they grow to, right? So you start taking estrogen, they get breasts, and they have a cup size. Which is funny because that means genetically some women have their dad's tits. Okay, you guys didn't like that one? That one's hard to swallow if you're a woman, I get it. Oh, my dad has G-cups, holy shit. Another quick one, I feel like it would be really easy to drunk drive when you're a train conductor. Right? Who's gonna stop you? Nobody can pull you over. It just goes on a track. And then the last one is, have you ever heard this saying of, people say this all the time, it's prostitution is the world's oldest profession. You ever hear of this? There's people nodding. It's good to know that you're nodding, sir, because we know what you do in your free time. Hanging out with a lot of prostitutes. Sorry, not you. But I think it's funny because that sort of implies that there was a point in time, right, before like the Neolithic age, before the Stone Age, there was just a period of time where there was just prostitutes. It was just whores, right? And how do the transactions even work, right? You get done fucking, you pay for it, and then you're like, so, how are you gonna pay for this? And you're like, oh, blowjob, I don't know. And I just, yeah, and then they starve, right, because there's no food yet. I don't know. That's my time, thank you so much. That's my time, thank you guys so much. That was my time, I think. Thank you very much.
Give it up for Kassian one more time!
Give it up for Kassian! Well, like I said, follow him, you can find out about his shows, and but would you ever want to go to Augsburg? That's the question.